There we go. As soon as I hit the water, it's got to be a snook. Doing somersaults. Yeah, you can see the yellow. This one's pretty aggressive. All right, first fish of the morning. A snook is always a good way to start the day. So I have it in reverse just to get us away from the fishing zone, keep us out of there. So you always want to try and wet your hand before touching these fish. He's hooked through the top of the lip. All right, decent sized fish. Send him on his way. All right, welcome back. We're out here fishing early. It's about 6:30 in the morning. We're fishing the mangroves, and we're looking for mainly snook at this point. There's also trout in the area. I can see feeding on bait fish out here. Seems like the trout are a little further out from the mangroves though. But like I said, currently we're fishing the mangroves looking for snook. I just had a pop right there. And I also brought my cast net with me. So we're gonna be throwing the cast net looking for live bait. Fishing with live bait this morning. Possibly. We'll see how the lures go. If the lures start to die out. There we go. See a jellyfish in the water right next to me too. All right, scoop this one up. A little bit smaller than the last one, but not gonna complain. Yeah, like I was saying, let's get this guy dehooked. Like I was saying, if the lures die out today, brought the cast net and we're gonna fish with live bait. So see what happens. Just got myself one of these mosquito head nets. I'm telling you, man, it's worth its weight in gold. There's no seams are so bad. They fly into your eyes, up your nose. So it's my first day with the head net. And like I said, it's worth its weight in gold. I was out here early yesterday, and it was literally, like you hear people say, you know, the bugs were bad enough to drive you mad. You can't relate to that until you're in that situation. It's literally driving you insane, you know? It doesn't stop, it's relentless, you know? All right, we got another snook. So all these fish this morning, all three of them so far, have been caught on this Gold Digger paddle tail, 3.5 inch paddle tail. It's a black lure with a ton of gold flakes in it. And I have it rigged on a 1/16 or a 1/8 ounce chartreuse colored jig head. So there's pretty much no wind this morning. They were saying 1 mile an hour, and looks like they were about right. So the water is super calm. It's going to be a little bit of cloud cover. See what kind of day it turns into. We're not going to spend too much time out here. Yesterday they had a heat index of 115. It's probably going to be about the same today. So like I said, we're out here early. It's about 6:30 now, a little after 6:30. And we're going to get a few hours in and get out of here before it gets too hot. There we go. This might be a trout. What is this? Yep, looks like a trout. All right. Nice sized trout. These no-see-ums are desperately trying to get into this face mask here, or face net. Fortunately for once, I'm coming out victorious against the no-see-ums. Literally sit out here and get eaten alive the whole time. So, all right, we got a very small snook. Gonna get this guy de-hooked and sent back on his way. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm finally coming out victorious against these no-see-ums. And what does it take to be victorious against no-see-ums? Being out here in the middle of summer, covered from head to toe, wearing socks, pants, gloves, long sleeves, face net, the whole 9 yards. So as soon as that sun comes up a bit, though, they usually start to dissipate a little bit. But until then, it's a nightmare. Now let's get this eager trout out of here. All right, we're pretty far from where we first started off this morning. I'm mainly on the hunt for bait right now. There we go. Looks like a trout. Oh. Mainly on the hunt for bait right now so we can net some and start throwing some live bait around. But I'm not seeing anything, so this area looked like a decent spot to fish, so I figured we'd stop here and see if we can catch a few. There we go. Looks like another trout. Ooh. Gonna use the pliers for this one. Don't want to get too close to them teeth. Feels like another trout. So this area is definitely holding trout. All right, we're going to continue the search for bait. See what we can find. All right, so I've covered quite a bit of ground searching for bait fish, and other than, you know, the lone swimming or jumping mullet, what do we have here? Snook? Yeah, I haven't really been seeing much. So now we're just fishing random areas that look like they might hold fish. And it looks like we found one. So like I was saying, other than just a few random jumping mullet, I haven't been seeing much bait at all. So we've kind of abandoned the bait catching idea for a little while and just fishing lures now. So again, I'm just picking areas that look somewhat promising. This area where we just caught that last snook is it's a corner. So corners are always good. You know, the mangroves stick out a tiny bit over there. There was a nice little ambush point. I saw an area with some bait, so I gave the cast net a few throws, and unfortunately all I was able to come up with was a mullet about 12 inches long, which is way too big for me to be using for live bait out here. So I was looking for more lines of 6 inches or so, you know, 7, 5, in that general area. 12 is way too big, so we've officially abandoned that for the day. Dripping sweat, covered in salt water, seaweed. So we'll try that another time. It's really not easy at all to throw the cast net from the kayak. Throwing it's one thing, you know, it's not too hard. It's just, it's getting to the fish. I got to sit down to work the motor. Then I got to find the fish. I finally find the fish. Then I got to get the cast net ready, stand up. By the time I do all that, it seems like, you know, the majority of the fish have left the area. So I got to find an area next time where the current's moving a little bit so it can push me into the fish, you know, make life easier. So in the summertime when that sun's up, usually these fish are going to be hanging out in the shaded areas. You know, if it's too warm for us to be laying out in the sun, sitting out here like this, it's probably going to be too warm for them as well. So look for areas like this with overhang creating shade. Docks also produce a nice amount of shade. So. Little snook. Seemed like he picked it up as soon as I started going a little bit faster with it. Another thing you got to remember in the summer too is things are a little bit more active, and if your slow retrievers aren't working, speed it up because the fish like it a little faster this time of year. So I've officially abandoned the whole live bait thing for today. It's getting later in the morning. It's probably close to 9 a.m. by now. It's getting very hot, very quick. So we're gonna try and catch one, maybe two more fish, and then we're gonna get out of here. But we're gonna revisit that live bait thing another day. All right, the water's moving a little bit more here than it was in the last spot. And water movement's usually helps you out a bit when it comes to fishing. Helps push bait around, and bait being pushed around or guided in a certain direction gives predator fish, you know, an easy opportunity to pick them off. There we go. Alright, small snook. This is going to be my cue to go because it is getting hot very quick. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, drop them down below in the comments and I will do my best to make them happen.